This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Japanese automakers are going to be hit especially hard by President Trump's tariffs. According to an analysis by Bloomberg Intelligence, the tariffs will cost Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Subaru, and Mazda $19 billion this year. Toyota will take the brunt of that with an expected hit of $10.7 billion. So far, Toyota hasn't adjusted its production plans in response to the tariffs, but the other Japanese automakers have or are considering shifting some models around. However, they're still holding out hope that a deal can be reached with the U.S., and Nissan's new CEO, Ivan Espinosa, is urging the Japanese government to move more quickly with negotiations. Jaguar Land Rover is no longer going to build its own models in China and will only import them. The automaker's chief financial officer told investors that it will end production of the Jaguar XE, XF, and E-Pace in China in September, while production of the Range Rover Evoque and Land Rover Discovery will stop at the end of next year. That'll be around the time that JLR is launching a new brand in China in 2026 called Freelander with its joint venture partner Chery. It will sell both EV and extended range models that are based on a Chery platform but feature styling from JLR. The Freelander models will be built in China and sold in a dedicated network of Chery-run dealerships. JLR needed to shake up its operations in China. It used to be its biggest market, but it dropped to number 5 in the first quarter. So it's launching the Freelander brand with the hope to appeal to more Chinese consumers. Ram is delaying its all-electric truck again. The Ram 1500 REV was supposed to launch last year, but after watching how sales of other fully electric half-ton pickups performed, Stellantis eventually decided to pull ahead production of the extended range electric version of the truck. That pushed the 1500 REV back to 2026. But according to a dealer memo seen by Crane's Business Detroit, production has now been pushed back even further to 2027, and the truck will launch as a 2028 model year vehicle. The company confirmed the move, quote, in light of slowing consumer demand for half-ton BEV pickups. So I wonder, what happens if demand doesn't pick up? Could that mean it never launches the 1500 REV? And on top of this, Stellantis is also pushing back production of the extended range electric version of the truck from later this year to the first quarter of next year. It says it needs more time to validate the quality of the truck. Hey there! Enjoy what you're watching? Then consider becoming an Autoline member. Just click the Join button on the Autoline Network YouTube homepage, or we've also set up a Patreon account under Autoline. Now, absolutely nothing will change with the content that we already provide you, but we're giving exclusive access to even more, like early viewing of Autoline exclusives, behind-the-scenes videos, and even live Q&As with John and I. Rivian is currently building prototypes of its all-new R2 model on a pilot production line at its plant in Illinois. And that's something that all automakers do so they can find any manufacturing issues. Powering the model is Rivian's new drive unit that it calls Maximus. CEO RJ Scarin says it was able to put all the processing and power electronics for the inverter onto one circuit board, which is mounted close to the motor, reducing the length of the bus bars. The inverter housing also acts as a cap for the cooling system, routing coolant without the need for additional parts. In total, Scarin says the new inverter has 41% fewer parts than its previous version, and by mounting the drive unit directly to the vehicle, it reduced even more parts and fasteners. Rivian is expecting to launch the R2 in the first quarter of next year. Toyota has been going a bit EV crazy this week, and now it's introducing another new electric car, the BZ Woodland. This is just like the Subaru Trailseeker that debuted at the New York Auto Show last month, but with a Toyota EV face on it. The model rides on the Automakers eTNGA platform and comes standard with an all-wheel drive system that makes 375 horsepower. Its nearly 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack provides up to 260 miles, or about 420 kilometers of range, and it comes standard with a NACS charging port. Other highlights include a 3,500-pound or roughly 2,000-kilogram towing capacity and a 14-inch center display screen. Toyota says it expects models to start hitting U.S. showrooms early next year. It only took 3 years for BYD to dethrone Toyota as the top automaker in Singapore. In the first 4 months of the year, BYD sold just over 3,000 cars, accounting for 20% of sales. Meanwhile, Toyota sold less than 2,100 vehicles. And while those numbers are small, BYD has been stealing sales from Toyota all across the Southeast Asian market, which the Japanese automaker used to dominate. And last year, nearly 3.3 million vehicles were sold in the region. So we think this has to be very worrying for Toyota. And BYD isn't stopping there. Earlier this month, the automaker said it's aiming to sell half of its vehicles outside of China by 2030. But things aren't as rosy for Chinese EV startup Xiaomi. As we've reported, the company is facing backlash over a crash involving one of its vehicles operating in semi-autonomous mode that killed 3 people. Customers also complained about the company making it hard to unlock a performance model's full potential, and now they're unhappy about a $5,800 optional performance hood that really doesn't add any aerodynamic benefit at all. And because of those controversies, Xiaomi saw its orders plunge 55% in April compared to March, and data from the first 2 weeks in May show that its orders are continuing to slide. The Xiaomi SU7 was a hit when it launched in March of last year, and by December, the sedan was outselling the Model 3 in China on a monthly basis. But now, that success appears to be in jeopardy. And don't forget to check out Autoline After Hours today. We've got Alan Taub from the University of Michigan coming on the show to talk about how tapping into the medical field should help improve EV batteries. It sounds like an interesting topic, and you can join us live this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. But that's a wrap for this show, and I hope to see you later today.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Intrepid Control Systems. Over-the-air engineering boost your game. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.